So this lovely instrumental that you're hearing is by Vancouver's Padlock, and he has become a staple in playlists of tastemakers worldwide. He's the sole Canadian artist on the legendary French label Kitsune, and the first act signed to Pete Tong's new PT Songs. Combining feel-good vibes with the love of R&B, soul, and house music, his catalog of club hits and DJ faves has racked up millions of plays and consistently topped Hype Machine. Now, from the bio to the man himself, welcome.
Thanks, good to be here.
Is it weird to hear a bio of yourself?
Yeah, a little. I'll survive though. Thank you for reading that word for word.
Oh man, yeah, I never know how quite to do that. So just
so good.
Start with what they say about you on the internet.
Right. Right. Believe it all.
Yeah. Well, at least your bio, we can believe that, and it's true. I mean, you do meld these genres together into dance music, which creates a very unique sound. Yeah, and you're back here in Vancouver, which is your hometown, right?
Yeah, I grew up here. I was born here. Back here for this show tonight at Celebrities Underground.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a cool space.
Yeah, I've just been in there once, and I'm excited to be back and playing it. I mean, Celebrities is always, one of the great venues in Vancouver, so.
It is, yeah, it is legendary, and the underground space has a good vibe too. It's different than the upstairs.
Right, yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So that's tonight. You can catch Padlock at Celebrities Underground. He's headlining his homecoming show. And I was wondering about that. How does it feel to be home and play for a hometown crowd? Is it different?
Might have to ask me after tonight.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, that might be my first show back here since I moved. I moved a couple of years ago down to the States. And yeah, it's interesting being back. I mean, Vancouver is always like, a city of growth and change. And even I noticed like, neighborhoods that I am familiar with, just, what's gone and what's replaced it and stuff. Even it's like a parking lot that I used to cut across downtown. Just a shortcut is now, there's housing there, which is cool, but I found myself in this weird, like, fenced off area. So, I think dance floors and crowds and stuff are, they evolve too, so I'm excited to see what tonight brings.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's cool. I think Vancouver is evolving in terms of its dance music scene, and, it was really cool to watch you and your success grow to the point that you moved to LA. Yeah.
I guess anyone can move. You could. We can all move. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it's sort of. It's maybe like the next step, just to work with more. I was working with more people, and yeah, it's its own. I mean, moving anywhere new and figuring it all out is definitely. Exciting and unpredictable part of any person's life. But I think that there's so much talent here in Vancouver that often gets someone's will mention an artist and now won't know them, where it's a genre of music maybe that they don't follow. But there's so many exciting things going on here, and that's cool to see that people are building here too.
Yeah, no, it's true. And when did you move to LA?
So 2 years ago. It's been just over 2 years now. And then I guess I come back here and there, but I haven't really been playing here.
No, you haven't. But that's very true of people who make it elsewhere in the world, that they come to Vancouver and they're not necessarily the most known in Vancouver. Not that you're not known, but you got someone like Jay Tripwire that's been releasing
right.
underground techno and has like hundreds of releases.
Sure.
And he's way more well known elsewhere, maybe
Right.
across the pond,
Right.
you know, and it's funny how that works.
Yeah, I mean that might be something about like scarcity. I grew up like in terms of when I started DJing, playing, you know, in Vancouver, different kinds of places and bars and clubs, and so I think, you know, finding my feet as an artist and, you know, in the music that I was releasing happened, you know, a fair bit into that, and so yeah, it's not like a, you know, knock or anything. I mean, I definitely miss a lot of the good nights that you know I was a part of or went to here. I guess you can't have it all, but I mean we're trying. I mean, like tonight, yeah, I'm really excited to, you know, I've played with you know, Blueprint guys before, and you know they're obviously great at what they do. So yeah, I've actually got, you know, a couple surprises, some friends.
Oh,
So maybe.
like some vocalist friends?
Maybe.
Ooh, I like that. That's very exciting. Yeah, so for a live show, what do you bring? You were on Instagram showing a couple different keyboards and asking people which one you should bring. So how do you prepare for a live gig? Like,
Right. So lately I've been doing sort of these hybrid shows where I'll bring like 1 or 2 keyboards on Instagram. I went back to, you know, just pull them out of the storage, the stuff that I didn't bring down with me to LA, and I have this old Alpha Roland Juno 2 from like the 80s and a DX7, which is like one of the most ubiquitous keyboards of that era. And I was like, you know, I don't get to use them that much. I used to use the Juno a little bit in my like live in my straight live show, which I did like more maybe 18 months ago, and I went back to sort of DJing full on, and then now I'm sort of like kind of mixing and matching as it works for the venue or the night or even the city. So in Van, I mean, I thought it'd be nice to bust out some keys, play some new music, play some maybe unreleased stuff, and just like jam out. Like it's not even like really a set format. So sometimes people ask like, "Oh, are you doing the live thing?" And I'm like, to me, live is very like, excuse me, club soda. Maybe not the wisest choice. The live thing to me, when people say live, I'm thinking of like, I don't know, your Jack Garrett's and your, you know, FKG kind of thing, and, you know, really great live musicians. And I'm like, you know, I love to DJ. That's where I came up. And yeah, I play a little bit, but so now like in the live or the sort of like this hybrid set, like, you know, I'll do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and sometimes maybe a friend will come out and jam, and it's actually become really fun for me because, I mean, selfishly, I can do the same song in a different city with a different person coming out. I mean, not just a vocalist, for example, but I mean, like in New York a month or 2 ago, I had a friend, Sammy Bananas, who's this great producer, also saxophonist, and so he came out and did like a MIDI place. He played the saxophone over a couple of tracks, like my song like U Street, and that was the first time that I'd ever seen, you know, ever had that happen. I've done that same song in LA with a trumpet player, and so it's sort of like invigorates, I think, brings fresh light to music that maybe even I'm like, oh, you know, I've played this like a bunch of times, but it's more fun, and like, you know, just having someone else on stage and vibing off their energy, even if it's only for 1 or 2 songs. And I think the crowd can also like feel that, and they feed off that too.
Absolutely, yeah. It's interesting you talked about this hybrid of DJing and producing in your show, or live and DJing, because at Celebrities Underground, Carrie Chandler was there, maybe like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago?
Right.
I don't know, something like that.
Right.
And he mostly DJ'd, but he had a keyboard
Yeah.
on the side. And everybody, as soon as he took to the keys, it was just this energy.
He shreds.
Oh, yes.
I didn't even know he I saw a clip only last year or something. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. He played in that space. And so I hope that Carrie's energy is still there for you.
Thanks, yeah. Setting the bar high. Big
Oh, man.
love Carrie Chandler.
Yeah.
Cool.
What an inspiring man. So you mentioned that you got your start DJing over, like, you were not producing first? Is that what came first for you, was DJing?
That's pretty accurate. I think I got my start when I was first year university, and I just kind of like wandered into like a record store, like on Hastings. I think it was probably Basics when it was still around. That was the first place I walked into, and I just started buying records, and I didn't know anything about anything. Didn't even have. I had one turntable, like one of those old dual cassette deck / radio with like the funny little phonograph, like with the lid on top. It's something just to play records. That was where I started, and then I did more research and eventually got the decks and started spending all of my money on vinyl, and that was how I started.
Nice, so cool. So you did start with vinyl. That's exciting. So all those haters out there that hate on digital DJing can't hate on Pat Locke because he did it from the beginning, from the analog.
It's funny. I mean, it is. I have a lot of respect for for DJs that play only vinyl, but I also think that in 2019 technology is so interesting and cool that it's not the most interesting conversation to have. Like, what do you play off of? Like, I mean, I think a lot of someone else said it much more eloquently, but like, if you whatever you play on, just like rock it, like just kill it on it, and know that medium, that technology, like inside out. I mean, if people are using CDJs and like don't know how to use them, or like I think like the bars, just because the bar is getting lower, just because technology makes lowers the bar in terms of ease, it doesn't let performers. It shouldn't let performers off the hook. It means that maybe if one part, if like beat matching or something, or putting things in key is easier, then push yourself somewhere else. How are you going to make yourself stand out? How are you going to make your set or your performance stand out in a different way? Whether that's hot cues, loops, or whether that's just classic like cutting and scratching, or it doesn't really matter. But find your way.
Or remixing. Making your own remixes and playing those out.
Exactly. Find your way to like stand out, I suppose.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now you mentioned that anybody can just move to a city, but one thing I do have on my list of questions is that you were actually given a U.S. visa as a person of extraordinary ability.
Oh boy.
And I'm sure it would be weird to talk about yourself in that way, but that's like not insignificant. You have to be at a certain level, nationally or internationally recognized, in order to go to the States and work legally. Like, there's lots of people that do it not legally.
Sure.
But, you did something that's actually pretty damn hard to do.
Thanks.
So good job.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, as a DJ that's been playing in different places since before I, got my last visa for the U.S., I mean, you kind of know how it is with being really careful, and how you're sort of stepping on eggshells. I'm going to be vague on purpose,
of course,
right now. But and with the current climate, it's definitely it was a relief, because I was kind of on a year-to-year touring like the P2. It's definitely a lot of people get it, even for South by. If you're going to play South by, you'd probably try and get a P2. But I mean, mostly, I think it was it opened up my eyes to something that was more possible, and I knew that at least that part, like, I could go and take a shot and spend a year or 2 or 3, which is the length of the visa, and see how it goes. I didn't really know what to expect, but it's only like obviously one step in, I guess, in this whole journey. I mean, I'd say that I'm super grateful to have that opportunity to be there, because I know talented musicians and artists that maybe don't haven't gotten that same status yet, and are going for it, and it's a bit luck of the draw. But I think it's just important to like stay hungry and like grateful for the opportunities that we're given. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And how has this 2 years changed your career?
Oh wow, it's I guess the short version would be that there's so much happening in terms of music and entertainment and shows, and there's so much talent happening in LA. It doesn't even really matter what sector you're in, but for music, obviously. So there's no shortage of inspiration shows. I mean, I wouldn't say I go to like a ton of shows, but some of the shows that you can see are just like kind of eye-opening again. And for someone that's been to a couple shows in other places, it's cool to see like all these talented people get together and jam or something like that, or step into like a session and see a bunch of producers just like cook something up really quickly. I think that was the eye-opening part, was starting to work with people were so talented that they also relocated, a lot of them, to LA to chase their dream, and are just like really competent and artistic and think about their art and craft in ways that that affect how you approach your craft. So whether that is like writing melodies or production or writing lyrics and things like that. And the more I did that, the more I started to realize that it wasn't really a fluke thing. People like come here to make it, and a lot of them like have what it takes and are not like willing to just sit back and hope it happens. They're out there like writing every day, making it happen, chasing after it. And so that is really inspiring to me. And I think focusing on that is sort of one of the keys, or it has been for me, to like adjusting to. I mean, it's a different city. Anyone that's lived in Vancouver, I think, would be able to say that it's a privilege. It's semi-charmed life, like growing up in Vancouver.
Lots of space, clean air.
Yeah, quality of life is pretty good. Good here, and.
Traffic's not that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Relative to LA, Mexico City. I know you've toured in Mexico City. Now, when you fly over Mexico City, it gives you perspective.
Yes. Mexico City. Yeah, that's a place that I love. Mexico City. I mean, I wouldn't begin to know it. I never know where I am in Mexico City. Maybe the neighborhood, but it's.
Yeah.
But yeah, so LA's been really eye-opening, and it's afforded some great opportunities to work with like artists that I really look up to, and people who have been playing the music for a very long time, and in some cases, collaborate or tour together, and so yeah, I would say it's been kind to me so far.
That's awesome. Yeah, because cities aren't always kind. Like they talk about New York eating you and spitting you out. And tries.
Right, I love New York. I can see that, man.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting now, especially with music, is that because of the internet and the culture of, it's maybe that part's over, but the SoundCloud, SoundCloud groups and scenes, culture, you have a lot of people that maybe just work together or like know of each other's work online, and you talk to them on Twitter or whatever, or on Instagram, and maybe never even have met before, but you can sort of build these scenes over socials and buy into a movement. And so like it's a little people complain that like everyone's on the internet like it's very like isolated and distant, but the flip side to that, I think, in music is that regardless of where you are in the world, if you find people that are making the same music or making stuff you're excited, or playing the same stuff that you're excited about, and you connect with them, there's that sense of community. And so sometimes some of those people get together in LA, and sometimes they don't, but it's all very relevant and legitimate, I think.
Yeah, or they get together on the internet.
Exactly.
You're making a track, sending it to someone. They're sending you a vocal.
Exactly.
Vice versa. That's one thing I was going to ask you about, because most of your songs are a collaboration with vocalists. There are a few instrumentals, but I'd say there's predominantly vocals in a lot of your music.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you've worked with Claire Mortefi on a few tracks, but My Own Throne is definitely the one that I think everyone knows and loves. Like,
Oh,
there's just an
thanks.
energy in that song that's
Thanks.
it hits. I don't know. It hits something in your heart. It's right. You guys did a good thing. And Dirty Radio.
Yeah. Also the Vancouver homies.
They're Vancouver. But I saw online you posted about Jones and What You Got For Me.
Yeah.
That was sort of like you just met and went in the studio. So it was a different relationship than what you had with the Vancouver artists.
Absolutely. That was a great day. That we only had. So I met Jones. She's an incredible London soul R&B artist, and I've been wanting to work with her for a while. I think I heard some of her work with, I don't remember whom, maybe Joe Hertz or someone like that. But I was on this tour. I did this support tour with Galantis in 2018, I guess, and I think this was on that tour. It could have been the previous year, but anyways, it was before. It was like the afternoon before a show, and we just like, I guess my manager had talked to her team, and she was available, and we just met. She like kind of floated in, and yeah, very lovely. Like, you know, London girl. I don't know, like, but like definitely, you know, like well spoken and very graceful and gracious, and we just sort of like you only have a few hours, so you're trying to find, like, if you meet someone for the first time, which is a lot of sessions in LA, you don't start like writing from like minute one, even though you might only have 3-4 hours.
Sure.
You still have to like figure out, like, you know, who is that person? Maybe, you know, sometimes it's easier if you have like a mutual connection or something, but sometimes you're like, well, you know, I like this music of yours, or maybe that person hasn't heard anything of yours, and so you're trying to find chemistry really quickly with them, or at least enough to write, you know, something that you both like. And so that was a fun day. I think, yeah, we kind of caught a vibe and recorded it all right then and there. And then it came
awesome.
out. Yeah, it came out like 8 weeks later or something.
Wow.
Like that.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's what you hope for in those kind of sessions. I'm sure they don't always go that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand. You have to establish some kind of rapport and understanding with the person before you're going to create something with them.
I think that, you know, you sort of ask questions. It's like interviewing someone, but you have a short amount of time to get where you're trying to go. So you can't, you know, start off with like, you know, maybe the most hard-hitting stuff. No. But you can say, you know, what did you have? I think literally I said, like, what did you have for breakfast, or what did you have for lunch? Just as like a funny that's not how I usually, you know, it's not like that my list of like icebreakers, but it was just like, you know. And then so we were talking, and then we were talking about like Uber Eats and like delivery, like the different delivery services, and then I was like, okay, it would be kind of funny if like that was sort of the secret basis for the song.
For what you got for me. Yeah. When you
so it could be the whole deep thing. Yeah. But also not like at all, and just like your
it's actually about.
It's what you're talking to, like the Uber
the door.
Eats. Yeah.
What you got for me?
I'm trying to figure out like what you ordered or what. There's something in that sort of like playing, and I was like, I like it when things can have like, you know, different meanings, and we both thought that might have been, you know, a fun way to work from a fun angle.
Oh, that's hilarious. I'm going to listen to it so differently now. Yeah. And I had the worst Uber Eats experience ever yesterday.
Oh, no.
I ordered pho from a little Vietnamese place nearby, and it showed up, and I got the seafood one, and the imitation crab, you know, they're like little rolls.
Oh, yeah.
It was wrapped in plastic.
Is that not normally? I think I've seen that before.
Like, I think they come wrapped in plastic,
right,
maybe, and then the person that's cooking it is supposed to take it out of the plastic and chop it up.
Oh.
It was rolled in a plastic covering.
Oh, the full thing.
The full thing.
So you were supposed to cut it and prepare it yourself.
No, it was in the soup with the plastic.
Oh no, that's a mistake.
Oh yeah, it was a super mistake. I took my chopsticks. I saw this crinkly thing around the crab. Yeah.
Delivery pho, that's a gown. That's a tough one.
I don't think I'm scarred for a bit.
Oh my goodness. So now you can play that song every time you're making a choice. on who you're gonna go with.
Yeah,
Whatever
what you got for me?
Yeah, we should have gone for like a sink or something. Try and get use that in a spot.
You know what? They had a pretty cool ad. So Uber Eats, Padlocks here,
Yeah.
songs about you,
Yeah.
secretly.
Yeah.
So no, they had a really nice one about one of their drivers and sort of the social interaction that he has with all the people that he meets.
Okay.
And he was like this cool New York young guy,
I see.
and yeah.
Check that out.
Wow, that kind of floored me. I mean, what do I do with that? Okay, well, let's ask. I want to know personally, because "My Own Throne" was one of my favorite songs. So how did that come about?
Oh, thanks. I
It's
mean,
it's a while ago.
that was a while ago. No, you're right. Shoot, we wrote that. So we wrote that at least 5 years ago, or about 5 years ago. If I were to guess, because I was going through, clearing out old files on my computer, and I have, I found like a Melodyne folder of just tuning of raw vocals, and I mean, even if the vocalist is like bang on, you're still like tweaking, making little tweaks sometimes, and so I had all these like old sessions that were dated, just like they're not obvious files, but if you sort of like dig into your hard drive and you're trying to clear out space, you can find them. And so everything was dated, so all these different songs, I could see exactly when that first thing was tracked. Yeah, but I think it was 2014. What happened? So I actually met Claire. This is relevant. So I met Claire we were both playing a show at Fortune. I'd never heard of her actually, and I think it was like we were both playing supporting Bond acts.
Nice.
And yeah, so we were excited about that, and Claire came up and just crushed it as she, always does. But we just, we met and we were like, cool. And I was like, I really love, your music. The whole thing was great. Like, let's see if we can write some music together. And then she just came by the apartment, and I think I just started with piano, because I usually start with the chord side and often just like on the piano or something. So I think that's where it started. And she just sort of sat down beside me and like riffed the melody, the main hook, like, and I was like, yeah, let's build off on that. And then it was really like organic, and I think it was pretty quick. I think the like, I think that was like I had like an idea for like a sing-songy thing, and I was like, why don't we try that? Because I haven't done a lot of those types. I mean, it's just like writing hooks that aren't words or lyrics, just sounds. But yeah, it was just one of those days, We've written other songs, we've written other days, but that was the first day, and it ended up being this demo that, what was funny is that someone at Kitsune, who I had already been sending demos to for a while, they had never responded, but my agent at the time, we were all at South by Southwest in Austin, and I was playing a show, and he texted me and said, someone from Kitsune wants to meet you. We didn't end up linking for whatever, South by is crazy, but then they had me play something in LA, this would have been probably, 2014, 2015, and she came out to that. Again, didn't meet me, but they're like, they emailed and said, do you have any demos? I sent them that. And they're like,
nice.
we like this. Let's put this out. So I was like, yeah, sure, great. I mean, now you guys will respond to emails. Fine by me.
Yeah.
And that sort of
that launched your relationship with Kitsune.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy how when you backtrack it that way. Like, I mean, if we don't play that show at Fortune together, maybe that none of anything else.
Yeah, that song doesn't exist, and
Right.
then they don't hear it, and you are still in Vancouver.
I mean, like, for better, for worse, yeah, who knows?
Who knows? I'd really like to play that song now.
Oh.
Just turn this up.
Get a video review while you're at the decks.
Where I pretend to DJ?
It'll be a snapshot. It won't be a video.
Alright,
Should I?
show the video.
was like early. I was actually, when I think I was like writing with my Juno 106. I had just gotten the 106. I was like, this is fun. And the original, like the synth sounds were a little bit different, but the chords were the same. And it was one of the first like things I posted on like Instagram or something. I think even my brother was like, "Oh, this is cool." My brother never posts anything. Like he's just like, "Oh," he just doesn't post or comment or anything.
Oh, okay.
But I think I was
Older
like,
brother?
Younger brother.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's funny how that's all I really remember. Oh, you know what? No, and then I remember I played like an early demo of this out. I played it my first time in Splash House. I played it my first club play in LA. The demo, and security guards for the VIP came over and asked me what it was, and I was like,
"You're like,
I was like, no, but I was like, maybe, like, I was like, because I didn't know. I was like, you're like, oh, maybe it's cool, maybe it's not, or whatever, right? But to play the demo out at Splash House and Palm Springs and play it in LA and have, I'm like, that guy's asking me about the song, like maybe it can be something, or maybe it's, I was like, cool. Sometimes you don't really have perspective, and it isn't really always like as an artist, you should know no matter what everyone else thinks. You should have your own opinion of your work.
Sure.
Yeah, that's all just kind of coming back.
Cool.
Yes.
So it kind of started like a big chain of events, I guess, in your career.
I suppose. Yeah. I mean, that's sort of. So because of this single, are we still on?
No, not right now.
Okay, cool.
We can talk after.
We can go into. I mean, if
we're just on here.
Right. I guess because of that began my relationship with Kitsunian, and then they asked me to do an album, and I was like, oh my god, an album.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about your album. Yeah, I want to talk about that.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
Because I think that's a big thing, being an artist in dance music and then making a full-length album. I think that's, not everyone does it, right? So there's something to be said about.
Right. I gotta put my brain in memory mode. It was a crazy time. That was 2017, which means I was doing it probably spring. 2016, 2017.
So that was My Own Throne by Pat Locke and Claire Mortefi. The song that sent a series of events, a chain of not unfortunate events, very, very positive things happening in your career because of that. Getting signed to Kitsune, and then you said that when we were talking while the song was playing, you said they asked you to do an album.
Yeah, I think it was probably about 4 or 5 months after My Own Throne was out with the B-side, and they were pretty happy and said, I think I was just going to, why was I in Paris? I don't remember why I was in Paris. I'm not sure if I when memory goes, but I went into the office and I didn't know what to expect. I was just like, oh, I'm going to go meet with these people at this legendary fashion house label, and I walked in and came out and we're within the meeting room. Yeah, about an album. And I remember walking out and being like, whoa, like what? And then talking to the manager and like, that's a good thing. Because in my mind, I was always sort of very singles oriented, and I found it still find it now. It's challenging to find to complete songs. I mean, I've done it more since then, but at the time it was more like I was taking a long time to finish like a single at a time. I mean, I guess before that I'd done like Your Lips with Dirty Radio, and I probably put out U Street as well. But some of those went faster, slower. But I wasn't thinking with a cohesive or like a larger body of work in mind. And so that was a really new, intense challenge for me. I think because just the timeline they gave me, they were like, how about in 4 months or 5 months, or they're like, we'll put it out September. And,
oh wow!
And I was like, what? Yeah. So I was like running. I was just running, and so I was like, I gotta write all this music, and that was definitely helped me grow and so I did more sessions, and and that and a lot of the songs, that came out of that, made it onto Hold On, Let Go, and different kinds of songs that, it's interesting that it's been like, I guess, 2 years since then, because it feels like a really long time ago. But I do remember, like, that was the first time that I was going down to LA and writing more with people while I was spending time there, like, a couple weeks. I would go down for a couple weeks at a time and try to write with someone or a couple of different people, and then sometimes come away with something, and sometimes, you have some demo that you're like, maybe we'll just sit on it for a while, or sort of introduction to that process. Just with a larger body of.
How many songs do you think didn't make it onto the album? Are there about like 14 songs?
There was a bunch.
There's a lot of songs on that album.
Thanks. Yeah, I guess that. Thanks.
A lot for a dance album, I would say, a dance record, and a full length.
Right. So, I will say that I can't remember how many didn't make it. I mean, I think at the time I was like, anything worth finishing, I'm gonna finish, but there were some songs that I didn't want. I mean, no one's gonna at this point. No one cares. But like, I didn't want a few of those songs to come out, and for whatever reason, and now looking back, I'm like, okay. Well, I mean, I'll just say so. Right before the album's release, I think I wasn't sure if I wanted to put out Hollywood, which ended up being, I think, the last single before the record, and then I also wanted to maybe drop Mar Vista, and
interesting.
And like, I can probably guess why I felt that way, but then also I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, especially with Hollywood. Didn't that end up being one of the bigger songs on your album?
I guess so. Like, what do I know?
Well, but like Big How, right? How do you define your success too? Is it just about the most plays? I don't think that's the only way to...
Right.
Like, it's... How do you define your own success?
Well, that's an interesting one. I think, talking about Hollywood, I mean, I thought that, and that's Kai Sones, who's the writer of the original demo of Hollywood. So that's like that song came about in a different way that I don't usually, like. Often I'm in the room and writing, like, from note and lyric one. But in Kai's situation, which is a pretty common process in songwriting and dance music, especially pop, he had sent over just a bunch of demos, and was like, oh, do you like any of these? Do you want to produce? Do you want to like work on any of these? And that one, so I sort of had the beat for Hollywood somewhere else, and it sort of came to me. I think it was in a different key, Hollywood, but I was like, oh, this two kind of work together. I sort of like worked on that and sort of fleshed it out. And I liked Kai's song a lot. I was just having reservations on my own end if it should have been a different way, or just nitpicking as creative people do. So to have it be, you're talking about success. I mean, I guess it was pretty well received. People that followed me liked it, and I guess some just tastemakers, I suppose, liked it and supported it, and so that was as people were walking by waving. It's so nice to be back in Vancouver.
Yeah, we're like right in the downtown east side on Hastings, coming at you from Save-On Meats.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've got a window onto the street. It's pretty cool. So,
lively.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Yeah, it's home, right?
It's different from Hollywood, from the actual Hollywood. It's funny because Kai is also a Londoner, so I don't know how much time it's spent up in Hollywood. It's kind of like.
So it's a song about Hollywood from two people that didn't come up. Even in California.
Right. Well, so.
Yeah,
to be fair, at the time, I think I was staying in West Hollywood, and I was like, maybe that was why I was like, it's not my favorite. It's very hectic, and sure, that energy for some people, I'm not usually like that on that wavelength. So it was funny. That wasn't why I had my reservations. It was more about like production stuff or whatever.
Or knowing when it's done.
Knowing
when to stop.
Exactly, knowing when it's done. So with Hollywood and Mar Vista, I mean, looking back, I'm glad that maybe the label or other people convinced me otherwise, but it is also important to, I think, for an artist to be self-critical.
Of course. Now you have a EP that's coming out on Kitsune Music next weekend. Is
Yeah,
that right?
next Friday. Next Friday.
The 14th of
14th,
June.
14th is Friday, I think.
The EP is called Corazon.
Corazon, yeah.
And it's got some salacious description here.
Oh yeah.
Tells the story of an intense meeting and relationship lasting exactly 36 hours.
Right. Yes, the thematic narrative. Yeah, that's sort of the concept. It has. I think it starts off with "Don't think." It's sort of. I mean, more will be revealed, but yeah, loosely the concept of the story is someone goes out and meet to a party and has an encounter with someone new and meets them, and it sort of follows like they hit it off like really quickly, as sometimes it happens, and how that all sort of like unfolds very rapidly and intensely, and sort of the whole arc of all of that in a very short amount of time. I don't know if I'm being too vague here.
I think that makes sense. So you're saying that the songs progress, this 36-hour relationship, so it progresses through the songs.
Yeah, exactly. You can sort of follow along, and there's more stuff that's kind of coming up around that. So with Corazon, I'm actually quite excited because it's the first time that we're doing a vinyl release for one of my records. I guess I had Might Be on Fire was on a compilation, an NBA Kitsune thing, and that was really cool. But this is the first time, so this Corazon is going to be on vinyl, limited run, and then we're also doing for the first 100 records that get sent out. We're doing bonus cassettes with other exclusive material that is
I saw that.
also
so cool.
not to be determined. I mean, I know what it is.
You just can't say it.
I just can't say it. Yeah, you have
and we can't really play the songs yet that are forthcoming next Friday or Saturday, the 14th. We can't play them. If we did, we'd talk over them anyways, which is what BBC One always does, and I hate them for that. We're going to release this is the latest.
There's some teasers
and
on
then
the line.
They just talk over the whole song.
There's some 30-second teasers that you could probably run.
Yeah.
For some of them.
Okay. Well, we're gonna play. What you have something queued up.
Yeah.
Let me just see what channel that is that we're plugged into. And okay, where is this?
Do you want me to tell you what I'm playing?
Yes. What are you going to play?
So this is my song "Know Me" with Kate Stewart. We also wrote. She's from London, but we wrote this in LA, and also our friend Nash wrote this with us. And, yeah.
Here we go. We can talk without that. Yeah, the mic's off.
I don't know how you were. I just came. Yeah, I realized it. So there's some 30-second clips. I don't know if that's enough to be helpful at all. That we can run. You could probably run. Yeah. That are on the vinyl site.
Oh yeah.
We could probably. One of the things did get played already.
We can try one of them, or we can just play from the back.
We could do that.
It goes from "Know Me" to "From the Back." It's like there's something missing in between there. Right?
There is what's the one that's? There is at least one thing.
I would hope there's one thing, because that's not very good foreplay.
No. Yeah, true. Yeah. In a literal sense. No, there's a couple steps in there.
Okay. So that was "Know Me" from the forthcoming EP. Oh, on repeat. Forthcoming EP Corazon by Pat Locke, coming out June 14th. And we're going to play a little snippet of the track on the EP that comes before "Know Me" now, right?
That's right, yeah. It's this one is a first play. It's called "Late Night." It's one of the instrumentals. So, should we run it?
Yeah, let's do it. Do we need to talk over it?
I mean, you can talk if...
Okay. Well, this one's exclusive. Apparently someone on BBC dropped it already, so we can now play it.
Let's if it loads.
Oh, right. SoundCloud is sort of I'm not hating on SoundCloud. I really love SoundCloud. There we go.
Yeah, this is "Late Night" on the new EP, Corazon. 2:24. So we can fade up before then.
Yeah. Let's just play like, I don't know,
a minute or something.
Yeah, whenever you want to fade it out.
Cool. I remember like trying to piece together riffs back in the day, like get it from here and get it from there, and like.
Oh yeah.
Like way back, you're trying to get like that white label or something, and you didn't know when it was coming out, and like reconstructions, like what was the Barbra Streisand way back? People were like trying to like do like reconstructions of that. So this is 40 seconds. You can fade it out anytime.
All right, there we go. So nobody ripped that. Don't do it. Just wait till the 14th. Come on, people.
We faded out before the payoff. Anyway.
Gave you a taste, though.
Yeah.
You gotta hear a little bit of that. So yeah, Corazon is coming out June 14th. You can grab that. And you are cooking up something again with Claire, aren't you? I saw something on Instagram. She posted a story of her in the studio with you from like earlier this week.
Yeah.
Are you just messing around?
I mean, we always do stuff. We've had a lot of writing days. Claire actually has a lot of. I hadn't seen her in a while since she's mostly based out of Toronto right now, but she's also like she's mercurial. So it was just good. We were just hanging, writing, and vibing and stuff, and definitely I'd love to work with Claire more in the future. But I'm also really excited for the world to hear her new music, because I heard some of it and I was like, oh, this is...
Oh, sweet. Yeah, and she had her album come out a little bit after your debut album.
Right.
And you had a track on there.
Yeah, so True Power, which was probably... Yeah, so that one went on both of our records. That was a really fun, like a throwback sort of hip-hop, which sort of one of the places that I came from, and definitely Claire as well. But that one was a totally different vibe from My Own Throne, and so I was happy that we put that on the record, both albums. Oh
yeah, it's such a good track, and her album is amazing too, from start to finish. Like all the vibes she made and the different producers she brought on, it was really good. She had Chin and Jetty on there, and
David.
No, it was really good. So excited to see what she's got up her sleeve. And one of the things that was funny about her post was she zoomed in on your dog in the studio. And I wanted to ask you about your dog. So first of all, is it a boy, girl?
So yeah, that's Obi. That's my roommate's dog. But because I'm in there in the studio all day, I kind of am also the dog sitter. He is a husky, brought shepherd, mix of a bunch of stuff. Also quarter wolf. He's 87 pounds, 90 pounds, depending on the day. He's a big boy.
And he looks old too.
Yeah, he some days he looks old. Yeah, he's 9.
Okay.
But a lot of people, when you meet him, think he's like, because he sort of has like a happy disposition.
Yeah.
But we just moved into this house with a yard, so now we can like run it, because I mean, he's a big dog. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You had like dogs growing up. They just need the exercise. So I'm excited that he'll be a little before. In our old place, and he just wants the attention, and like couldn't run him around that much. He's like too big, and not that many parks where we were. That's one of the differences between like LA and Vancouver. There's just green everywhere here in more ways than one. But like in LA, sort of you have to be lucky with your neighborhood sometimes, and so like even just walking, and like there weren't that many options. But he's my ghost.
Yeah, he seems to be in quite a few of your photos and videos, and so I figured it was your dog, and I thought, oh well, that's nice. You got your pal that you moved with. That's the story I made in my head. It's like Pat moved to LA with his dog, and so at least he's got because they are like your best friend.
He's a Northwest boy. He's from Seattle, so I've known him since he was like little.
Oh,
so
cool.
we are.
So you have a relationship before this.
Yes, we know where we come from.
And in the video, he's laying under the table, and you guys are blasting this great music, and he's just laying there, like, kind of doing nothing. And so I was going to ask, is there anything that you play that actually, like, gets a rise out of him, like
Gets out of the
triggers
dog?
him, or that he likes?
Oh
or-
boy, I think the biggest one he's loving his sirens, because we're beside like a hospital now, so he'll just sit out in the yard and sing and howl and and try and do harmonies with all the sirens going by. So that's the obvious one. I think the only time he messes with me is if I'm trying to record something, like a video, like a flip or something. Like, what was the thing? I think I was doing like a Lizzo.
Smart.
I was doing like this Lizzo remix, and I was just like playing all these parts, and it was like playing a keyboard part. He just comes and like puts his head. He loves to put his head right in people's crotches, but he's like very intrusive about it. He doesn't ask or anything. He just does. But he's just being needy. So those are the times when it's like whenever he needs to record a part, that's when he like makes his presence felt.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Otherwise, he's just pretty
Under the
indifferent.
table. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, old news. I've heard this before.
Mm-hmm.
But dogs are like that too. I haven't DJ'd with my current dog, but my old dog, he would just lay there and not give a shit. It was so funny.
Right. That's great. And
Yeah.
spending the whole day with them, like
Yeah.
you gotta pick and choose.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. No, that's true. So it looks like we're coming close to our hour. I will mention again that tonight you are here in Vancouver playing at Celebrities Underground.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna lay it down.
Yeah, I got put the pieces together. You might be able to figure out who's coming out, and in some cases maybe not. But and I'm excited for the show. And then we've got the EP dropping next week, and then actually the week after that, I've got official Ducamont remix that's coming out. So that's it's gonna be a busy month.
Yeah,
Fun.
I always enjoyed his EPs, those for Club Play only.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
All right, I'll play it on here. So yeah, I'm gonna be in the mix for the next hour, and I'll definitely throw in some of the tracks that we were talking about. One of them also that I really like is a remix you did called "Take Me," Anthony and Cleopatra.
Oh yeah,
It's like a long time ago too.
Yeah, that was. Oh, I've never spoken to anyone about that remix. That was a fun one. They're like
Yeah.
Aussie, I think Aussie, maybe
'Cause
British.
It's what you did to that song. You completely flipped it. It's not that similar to the original.
Thanks. I barely remember the remix. I don't remember the original. Sometimes it just comes to that's fun to do.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any other remixes coming out besides the Ducamont?
There's probably not that I can talk about yet.
Okay.
But definitely I work a lot of those into the show. So people that come out to the shows to get to hear it first. It's definitely fun because then sometimes there are songs people know, like the Lizzo thing. I've been playing that for like a while, even before I didn't really put it up in like a burner account or something. But other little flips like that, sometimes you're like, maybe I won't release it or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's more stuff. Always more stuff. Always more music coming.
Yeah. And is there another tour coming? Because you were touring with Party Pupils,
Party
right?
Pupils. Yeah, we just finished that up, and I've got. Yeah, I'm going to New York next week. Actually, playing in New York on the day of the record release. I've got Montreal coming up in July, and like Splash House again in Palm Springs after that. The tour is in terms of organized. My whole life is this way. I've got started this residency in South Korea, Soap in Seoul, which is really exciting. So I brought actually a Vancouver artist who I am a big fan of, Nick Wisdom's happy to have people out there for the first one. And
Yeah, I saw that.
we'll continue that in August with another guest.
Cool. That's awesome. That's super exciting.
Thanks.
Yeah. All good things coming down the pipeline for you. So yeah, don't sleep tonight. Come out, Celebrities Underground. You heard it here. He's gonna drop the things that you can't hear anywhere else.
Great. Get there early for What's Up Tiger. Great DJ.
Oh,
My
yeah.
favorites from Chapel Sound. Chapel Sound. What doing?
Nice. Did you ever go to the Groundwork events when you were here?
I think. Wait, are those the newer ones over here at the cafe?
At the cafe, yeah.
They started those after I was gone.
Yeah.
But Matt Corners was my roommate, I bought his Rhodes. That's my Rhodes now. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Nikki, of course, Nikki Buckets, like he did a remix, Potato Head People remix Lucid off of Hold On Let Go. So I mean, I really respect what they're doing. I love that, like the community building and the talented musicians. But I haven't been around for one yet. I'd love to go to one.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'd love to have you because, you know, to see your success and also like Pomo, that's sick. Like all the stuff he's done with Anderson .Paak that's been so good. Like you hear him in the keys and, you know, he's from here and there's good music coming out of Vancouver and touring and going around the world. So, yeah, groundwork is awesome. They're nurturing.
I gotta make it out to one of those.
Yeah. They should have you as a guest. Yeah, there's also a DJ school in Burnaby now called Table Tutors.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they're like doing lots of after school classes for kids, but also for adults. And
that's right.
It's just good vibes and teaching turntablism.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Know that my old roommate Nick Beck also, like, he teaches like Ableton and like definitely DJ stuff. I don't remember the name of the school. I thought it was in Vancouver though. But there's people out here pushing the craft for it and like not being as what you're talking about, like digital DJing or not, and it's like learn as much as you can. I think you know, whether you're a producer, DJ, or both, or you know, whether you just want to be a DJ or want to be a producer. It's kind of the only thing I've lived by.
Those are good words to live by. I have one personal question before I let you go. I always wanted to learn how to play piano. Do you think I could just learn straight up like on a Rhodes or a keyboard that sounds like that classic house sound? I just don't want to play on a piano.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually the electric piano setting on most like digital keyboards, like 1 or 2. I was like at my parents' place and I was like messing around and I was like, oh, like this patch sounds like something that I would use in a show, like, you know. So yeah, just scoop up a keyboard and look for one of those like electric piano wonders. They usually have 2 different. One will be like a brighter one with more transient, like almost like a chimey kind of thing, and then one will be like a more muffled, like classic one that like I kind of use in a lot of stuff. It's good for layering and just kind of smoother. So just look for that. Okay. Yeah, one of those cheap keyboards you're shooting at 50 cents a buck.
I have one from when I was a kid. My parents bought it because I think it was like the "We're Getting Divorced, We Feel Guilty" present. It's a full-size Yamaha keyboard from the early '90s.
There you go.
It's sitting under my bed. So
grab that out. And jump on YouTube and just start learning.
When did you start?
I started piano, classical piano, when I was really little. I did that for a few years, and then I kind of like hated it, and so I just ran away from it until I guess I started like listening to, funnily enough, like BBC Radio 1, like P. Tong.
Yeah.
When I was going into university, and that was sort of around the time I started buying records.
Yeah.
So it's funny how sometimes things are full circle. Thank you.
How I know where I'm supposed to wrap this up, but we didn't even mention that you're on P. Tong's label, and it says in your bio that you're the first artist to be signed to the label.
Oh yeah, so he's he's my publisher. So they have other songwriters and artists with them, and it's just cool to work with them and. I guess, you know, sometimes get feedback on specific things or, it was, I got to meet him for the first time actually recently because I hadn't met him before, and the guy just knows and loves music kind of as much as you would expect. I mean, someone that has helped push dance music forward through the decades and, you know, what it means globally, you know. That was, I remember when that happened, it was definitely a cool moment.
Yeah, that must be like okay, wait, I'm just gonna like check myself here for a second. And or I saw that too where you had posted something about meeting Todd Terry, I think.
Oh yeah,
and it was like a full circle for you.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I love that like 90s, like Todd Terry, Kenny Dope. So sort of a secret, I guess. When I wrote the beat for My Own Throne, after I put down the keys, I was sort of feeling like a Kenny Dope, Todd Terry vibe. I think specifically the song I was thinking about was That Sound. Is like Liquid Dope, Kenny Dope. Go back and listen to this great record. I don't know how much it sounds like it now, but maybe you'll but that was sort of what I was like channeling and feeling. And then I was hanging out at the Fool's Gold barbecue where A-Track was playing with some other guys, and yeah, it was like Todd Terry was playing. I was like, oh my god. And then also Armand Van Helden was hanging out there, but I didn't realize it was him because I didn't know this guy just looked young and like well dressed and like a cool guy. And I, in my mind, that Armand, I guess I hadn't seen recent pictures of him. In my mind, he would have been like older.
Okay.
And so I realized later on that I'd been standing beside him, just like in the whatever, like
not saying anything.
He's just not saying anything, like watching the DJs for like half an hour, and then he went away, and someone was mentioned like Armand, and I was like, oh, dang.
He could have said to you, "You don't even know me."
yeah, true, right? Burn, yeah. I don't know what I don't even know what I would have said in it. But at least with Todd Terry, I was like, it's really nice to meet you. Love your record, and then I just like pieced right out. But he followed me on Instagram, Todd Terry, so I was like pretty pumped about that.
That's awesome.
Maybe he like checked out some music. Anyways, it's
maybe. Well, you do bridge, house, R&B, and soul, and like you've got all these different layers in your tracks. I won't lie, I speed up a lot of your tracks because I'm a house DJ. So
yeah. That's fair enough. I speed them up too.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure.
But you make a lot of your tracks around like 113, 115.
It seems that way now. I definitely. I mean, in that time in the last couple of years, I was around that. I'm going both ways again. I mean, I still like that groove a lot, but I think I'm just thinking about the record really quick here. Like, there's some different speeds on the new record on Corazon, and with some of the remixes, but. I'm just gonna keep playing with it because I don't sit here with that much of a predetermined. If it sounds cool at 135, I rock with that. Like when I DJ, like a lot of tracks I love are super fast or up in the 130s or we're down in like the hundreds.
Yeah.
So I think as a DJ, as a selector, you just got to be like, well, what moves you, and hopefully that moves other people too.
Yeah, and it depends on the crowd sometimes too. Sometimes you play faster because of the crowd that you're with. Or slower.
Yeah,
for sure.
So.
Well, I know you got to get going. You have sound check at Celebrities, so thank you so much for coming on. This was great.
It was fun.
Yeah, and we've got this all recorded on a video and everything. We'll post it.
I should have sat with proper posture.
Oh, me too. I keep doing this. Yeah, we can wave to everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye. And I'm gonna play you out here with since you said you don't remember it, how about we play the remix you did of Take Me to jog.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So
I used to play this in my sets, and then I just forgot about it or something.
I like that you just get right into it, because the original, this takes a long time the vocal takes a long time to get to this point, and you're more like putting it in the front.
What was it? Like a club speed? The original?
I think it's slower, but it's still got a good dance vibe.
This is fast for me. I remember this is like 126 or 123.
Yeah, this is 124.
For the time, I feel like that sounds fast for my catalog.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I like the tempo. I wouldn't change anything. But
yeah.
I remember also being long. How long is this remix?
It looks like it's about 5.5 minutes.
See, for me, that's like an eternity now. This tells you something about something.
You should do some extended mixes for
I know.
Because when the vocal comes in too fast, it's tricky. Like, you don't drop house as much, you know?
Yeah, you need to like 16 or
you gotta loop it.
30. Yeah. It's, you're not the first person that said that. I should get back to it, to like doing the intros and outros. I think just like stuff slips through the cracks sometimes.
Oh yeah,
but I definitely. like even with like from the back, people were like asking me like, can you do like extendeds? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. But like, it's like forget.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Moving
But
on.
someone will. Oh, you know who'll do it? Like Nick or someone. One of the
Or
DJs.
someone will put it on SoundCloud, right?
I'm like, someone else will do it. It's fine. I'll download it then and give it to Nintendo to everyone.
There you go.
But yeah.
Okay.
I remember. I like this part. Like this little bridge. I don't remember where that came from.